Is Cardano about to start a new trend? Guys, in this video, we're going to dive into the world of Cardano, specifically taking a look at the price of ADA and see exactly what is going on. Guys, as we get into it, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏. Right, with all that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down into the charts and take a look at what's going on here with Cardano. Okay guys, so we're going to start with the weekly. It's important that we understand that we were tracking a nice 1 through 5. Okay, the fifth wave seems to have actually stumped a bit short, and I do think we've actually, seen a kind of an ABC correction to the downside. And now what we're actually looking for is the reversal, potentially setting a new trend. And I think we are seeing that. And I'm going to go through why we're seeing that right now, or at least why I believe we are. So we were, originally looking at a trend-based fib on the chart here. Taking a look at the past performance, right, of Cardano. So specifically taking a look at the low area of wave 2, if I just bring this down, that high area of wave 3, the low area of wave 4, and then wave 5 we had kind of estimated going out to a 4.236 extension, which was basically $11.13. But the recent kind of level of pullback over the last few weeks or couple of months or so have actually kind of led me to believe that we've seen the wave 5 high come in at about $3.10, and actually we've seen an ABC correction down that now leads to a new spike to the upside. Okay, so worst case scenario is an ABC up on the weekly chart, which will be massive in itself, and best case scenario is it turns impulsive and goes much higher than we actually thought it was going to possibly go to. So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of clean the chart up a little bit here. We're going to take a look at this move with what's been going on. Okay, so right here we can see we set the all-time high at $3.10, and then we start to see this move. Right, we saw this this A wave down, a B wave up, where we sort of thought there was recovery coming in, and then a C wave down. Now, when we actually measure that distance, I don't think the fib's going to be overly helpful, but we'll give it a whirl. We'll grab hold of that and we'll put it here. And we'll run that down. Yeah, so it's not the... actually, yeah, it's pretty much... It's pretty just a little bit short of a 1-for-1 ratio. So the 1-for-1 ratio would have put us at about $1.12. And we actually came in with a triple bottom, okay, which is another bullish indicator, by the way, guys, at $1.18. So we came a little bit shallower than we would have expected an ABC wave to actually land finally, but pretty close, right? Pretty close. And we had the triple bottom, so pretty interesting level to say what we've had the reversal, right? And what we mean by a triple bottom, if I actually grab hold of a horizontal ray here, it's actually more of like a quadruple bottom. You can see that we found this really strong level of support right down here at $1.18, $1.19, in that range, right? And basically really testing this area of support. Now this actually goes way back as well. If I actually hover on there, you can see the history of this area. Previously was resistance in here, was support, got the rally, and now we're looking for the reversal. Now we're heavily oversold on this Cardano chart right down here at 1.24 or 1.45 on the fast line, and 0.8 on the slow line, right? So we are tracking pretty nicely on this macro view for a big move to the upside. So we should be looking for a big A wave to come in, okay? And however we want to kind of draw this, how high, we don't necessarily know this is going to go just yet. One of the things that we should acknowledge, though, is we are most likely going to be looking for what is also commonly known as a bounce in the market. And this could actually be a good indication of where we'd expect that A wave to kind of go, right? To kind of fake people out into thinking that we are potentially getting rejected, right? So there's 3 areas for that. The first one is the 618, the 702 is the second, and then the 786, right? Now, considering we are expecting an ABC move, I wouldn't be too surprised if we actually move up to that 786, which would be a $2.12. And then we get rejected from there, and then we end up with the C wave higher, okay? Now, if that is the case, we should also acknowledge that we need to measure out that B wave rejection point, okay? And to do that, we're going to take a look at the low to the high, and we're going to grab this, and actually need to do it the other way around, so bear with me. We'll grab it from the low point up to that theoretical 786, and then we'll pull that B wave down towards the 618. That puts us approximately actually on that $1.58 range area, 155 approximately in that range there. What we'll do is then take this fib, we'll put that on top of that B wave low, and then that will predict out where our theoretical C wave is likely to go. Okay, now with that, and with knowing that potential move here for an ABC up to the rejection point, which would be a 786 move, down into a bouncing point at the 618, and then pushing up for a 1-for-1 ratio on the A to C, this kind of gives us a bit of an idea as to what might actually happen with an ABC move to the upside, right? Again, we won't know until we actually get the A wave in, will we know for sure the level of the B wave pullback, and then the C wave, most probable area to stop. Now, I'm going to mark that area there, $3.23. Now, going past this area and closing above it is going to be the signal that takes us into an impulsive move, i.e. we're meaning that we will not be just an ABC. We'll have the A wave up, we'll have the B wave down, pretty much like you would normally, but this will be labeled 1 and 2, and then we'd have potentially, up to that 618 a close. Maybe we'll pull back for a wave 4, and then we'll push up again into a 5th wave. Okay, that would actually take us into new all-time highs. Okay, basically setting a trend, but we don't really know how well this is going to go, but it gives us a bit of an idea as to what actually might be forming here with this, I guess, reversal, recovery, or even what I like to think of it now as setting a new trend for Cardano. Okay, again, we have some interesting levels to be aiming for, all depending on what happens next, because they could have an ABC wave actually, being effectively just wave 1, an ABC down, and then a big impulsive move for wave 3, an ABC down for 4, and then a big impulsive move for wave 5. We don't know until we actually get there as to what is going on for sure, but this gives us a bit of a path. We are looking up right now, and we are looking up pretty well, but we want to be cautious about this. It could be a bounce, and ultimately could lead us to more downside later if we are going bearish. But considering our position on our stochastic RSI, and the history has told us the kind of level of percentage moves that we've had after being heavily oversold. We saw this here, and when we were at the bottom of wave 4, we pushed up massively to new all-time highs from oversold to overbought, and again we saw this from oversold to overbought in wave 3, which was absolutely insane gains. And again we saw it with wave 1 here, oversold to overbought, in a very, very good way. So right now, this is probably really conservative, and we should actually be looking much, much higher, but I'm just trying to draw it out there until we actually start to see some of these waves come in. We don't know exactly where they're going to land, so it's a bit of a guesswork at this point, but it's good to kind of see the things moving in that direction, considering everything that we've been enduring with ADA recently. And for the record, still invested, haven't sold a single ADA, and it's doing pretty well. Right, let's actually jump down into and I say doing pretty well, I mean, I think it's holding up pretty well, and this is why I think it's holding up pretty well. Here we obviously have this upward trend line all the way back in April of 2021, tested several times, tested again, and it's actually holding up well. Okay, so the price of ADA has fallen down quite massively, but we are holding a very key level. There is of course this triangular wedge that's kind of forming out here. Again, we've had rallies to the upside, and right now we're actually on the lower end of the spectrum. Looking for that break to the upside. Finding good support across the bottom here, as I said, $1.19 being a key area, triple or quadruple bottom formed out here. Heading into this overbought area on the daily, but again, it's not aligned to the weekly, so do expect this to wipe out very rapidly without doing too much price damage at some point. Otherwise, we can stay up here for quite some time, as we have previously seen. So again, be aware that we are looking for some kind of pullback on this daily chart, but it doesn't appear to be something that's likely to happen anytime soon, at least not on the daily perspective. Okay, so do monitor that the weekly is in a really bullish position where it needs to see green, and whereas the daily here is actually in a position where it needs to see red. So those two things are not in consensus, so do be aware of that. So we are expecting volatility still, but I think actually we're going to see this get wiped out pretty quickly. So ultimately you can see this nice move to the downside here, big ABC move, and what I mean by nice, not is that it's good to see it, but it's good that, you know, we actually have completed the ABC, right? So it's a good ABC down completed. And now from here, you actually tend to see a bigger ABC to the upside, okay? And we haven't actually seen it yet. You've seen these kind of little kind of fiddly kind of continuation things kind of going on, but we haven't actually seen that big A wave up with B wave down, okay? You saw, in fact, nothing to that effect just yet with Cardano. Now, ultimately, once the PAB goes live on the mainnet and we start to actually see projects launch, that's going to increase the utility of ADA, and more people are going to be required to purchase and hold ADA in order to actually use those dApps and etc. So do expect a huge transactional volume boost in the network, which will actually mean that the price of ADA will have, will basically climb as supply and demand increases, right? So do watch out for that. I think it's going to shock people. You know, people call it all sorts of different things, lots of FUD in the space, but ultimately, how many blockchains have you actually got with governmental contracts? There's not many, and it's good to see such a powerful protocol like Cardano in such a prime position. And a lot of people are focusing on all of the wrong things when it comes to understanding where value is going to be added in the future. Okay, so for me, I think Cardano is going to do incredibly well, and I think it's going to really shock a lot of people who have maybe been selling Cardano to chase those green candles in Solana, for example, or whatever other protocol there may be, KDA or whatever, right? So for now, it's important that we acknowledge that actually completed the ABC down on this daily. We are looking for a recovery. We're looking for an ABC also on our weekly chart, heavily oversold there. So we're looking for an ABC, which hopefully will turn impulsive, setting that new trend in motion to the upside. So let's jump on down into our daily chart, our hourly chart. Now, this is where we started to see an A through E, right? An Elliott wave triangle appear. And this was actually really unfortunate. We actually kind of got stumped out. We started to see an impulsive run just at the end of this E wave, right? We can see it right here. And then we hit a double top. Okay, and double tops are bearish. So we basically hit the double top, the ABC falling short, and then fell with an ABC down. Okay, basically creating the quadruple bottom. Then we had the ABC up. I can draw that on there. You can easily see it, but A, B, and C. And then that's followed with the ABC down, and right now we are tracking for the ABC up. Now, what's interesting about what's going on here is we actually broke this line, okay? So then we start to think, okay, what have we actually kind of got going on here? Is there actually a different pattern at play? So we're going to remove this one off, and we'll actually go ahead and take a look at something different. What if this is our A, our B, our C, our D, and our E? Well, then we actually get this breakout, okay? Now, this potentially could lead to something much bigger for Cardano. So we don't know if it's tested or not yet. I'll leave that there for now, but what we'll do is we'll try to analyze what's going on right here. But we did get the breakout from this descending trend line. So what we want to do is we want to monitor the situation here. Why have we actually seen such significant kind of breakout with Cardano? And I know it's obviously following Bitcoin, it's following many of these other altcoins as well. So obviously that has an impact on it, right? But this is now actually breaking the downward trend that we've seen for the last few days. So it's an important one that we acknowledge, right? Now, obviously, if we have a completion of an A through E, this Elliott triangle, then actually this tends to lead into impulsive moves to the upside. This is something that we can see on the Harmony 1 protocol right here, A through E, impulsive move up. And again, we saw it over here when we actually hit the all-time high, Elliott wave triangle, impulsive move up, right? So for Cardano's ADA right now, also following a triangle like this, it's important that we acknowledge that that's actually quite an important thing. So what we're going to do is, even though we did have that double top up here with this one, this motion, we want to kind of acknowledge, what's going on now. What's not overly clear at this point, let me just bring that back in line a little bit, is the exact wave count, because we could argue here there's an ABC, a really small ABC just in this point here, A, B, and C, which would effectively mean that actually what we have is an A, a B, and a C wave. And if we actually measure that distance, it's pretty much where our expectation would lie of an ABC. Let me grab hold of that. Put it in here. We fell a little bit short, you know, to come up to this line here, and you could argue that actually this here actually hits on the nose that resistance level, which actually was our ABC move here, and right now we're actually pushing up, or pushed up a little bit higher. So you could argue that this is a 1, 2, you know, 3. Yeah, it doesn't really align to the rules very well. So I am going to call that as an ABC down at this point and an ABC up. It does follow the rules very well. I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and we'll put this down onto our high point here, and we'll go ahead and measure that distance just there as well. Again, falling a little bit short, going up to the 786, getting rejected from the 786. We should be tracking an ABC down, and then once we're there, we should be looking for a good move to the upside. So what do we actually have here? Well, we have another ABC, A, B, and C, and now we're on an ABC down. A in the B wave right now, tracking them for a C wave down. And again, that stochastic does need lowering a little bit. This could actually be the back test on our trend line. Let's measure that distance, see where that is likely to go. We'll grab hold of that move right there. That's not even the right one. I will grab it from, oh no, it is that one there. That one there. There we go. Okay, we'll grab that, and we'll put that on top of our B wave high. And actually, you know, it falls into a pretty reasonable level for a C wave. Going down to this trend line basically falls short of going into an impulsive line, so do watch out for that. But otherwise, you know, we should end this C wave low at about $1.28. If we do actually go down to our trend line, that's about $1.27. Okay, so again, you know, track that, move that, and then from there, we'll probably be looking for a nice big ABC to the upside again, in line with the bigger picture, right? The bigger macro view. So lots of noise going on with our hourly view, lots of noise also on the daily. But if you're ever in doubt, zoom out, pay attention to that weekly chart. It's looking very good right now, right? Big ABC down, and now we should be tracking for a very new, big ABC up, or even an impulsive move to the upside on our weekly chart. So everything's looking pretty good for Cardano from the weekly standpoint, the bigger picture. Okay, taking us into the new year in a really strong way. That coupled with the fundamentals of everything that's actually looking to happen next year, I think Cardano is going to be one of the front winners, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. A lot of people who may have been listening to, you know, influencers who had alternative interests, right? Maybe they had heavy positions in other altcoins that they wanted you to kind of get into as well. Really important that we do a lot of solid research and we don't just take what one person says as gospel truth. And myself is included in that. I'm not a financial advisor. Chris is not a financial advisor. We talk about projects that we have researched, right? And it's important that you do that research too and come to your own conclusion. You might not like the protocol, you might not like the team, and that's fine. Okay, but one of the things you have to acknowledge is there's a lot of absolute garbage out there that simply isn't true, and doing the research helps you understand who's telling you the truth and who is not telling you the truth, which is absolutely vitally important when it comes to actually making decisions based on, you know, investments of what people are other people are doing, right? Sometimes they're not telling you the truth as intended. So guys, do that research. I don't think you'll be disappointed when you dive into the world of Cardano, but you do have to get through a lot of the garbage that is out there, things like Ghost Chain, nothing built on it. You know, it's got problems with transactions, it can't do things in parallel, a lot of stuff that just simply isn't true. You got to blast past it. You got to find the actual truth rather than people's narratives. Okay, with that being said, I am going to leave this video right there. Lots of fantastic things are going to be happening here with Cardano in the future. I think it's going to be something that is going to do incredibly well. Guys, if you found this video useful and informative, hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.